In the UK, hardly anyone is interested in the negotiations on the future relationship with the EU. This is not just due to the corona pandemic. The behavior of the European Union also plays an important role. Towards the end of his press review, perhaps the most famous in the country, the BBC presenter Andrew Marr paused, looked into the audience and said, "Now comes an astonishing observation. Our program has been running for 13 minutes and so far I haven't heard a single Brexit say." That was amazing indeed. The government had declared negotiations with the EU to be de facto ended 36 hours before that happened, and Cabinet Officer Minister Michael Gove had published a brisk article that Sunday morning. It took only 2 minutes and the subject was dealt with by Marr's guests. It's been like this all the year round, even now that the negotiations have started again. The British, even the political observers, appear tired, almost disinterested. Since the negotiations on the future relationship with the EU have been underway, they have played a subordinate role in public. Even the threatened end of the talks and the prospect of a Brexit without a trade deal and the restart of the negotiations were not important enough for most newspapers to move this up. The Times had only one medium-sized article on page 5. Many newspapers on the continent, however, put the drama on the first page. Don't be afraid of the no-deal Brexit. The escalation with Brussels coincided with an internal political confrontation in the kingdom. Negotiators argued with the mayor of Manchester for 10 days on Downing Street because the mayor of Manchester refused to accept the disease protection requirement for a city before the Prime Minister prevailed on Tuesday evening last week without accepting the demands on the other side. In this way, Boris Johnson had 2 negotiations on his neck, and the domestic English variant excites the people and the government far more than the international one. But the upheavals that the coronavirus brings with it are not alien to the countries of the EU either. This does not prevent the mainland political class from paying increased attention to Brexit. So what's going on in the kingdom? And before someone complains again that no one there calls it that, I'm talking from our perspective, and we often call it just the kingdom. Anne McElvoy, a nationally renowned commentator, sees wear and tear as work. This story has been bothering voters for a while now, so they tend to dismiss the potential harm of a no-deal outcome, she says. 2 developments support this finding. For one thing, the government has been reassuring citizens for weeks that the country is well prepared for future changes. Johnson does not speak of a threatening no deal, but of the chance of a completely normal trade relationship as one cultivates with Australia. Australia is close to the British, their products are known and on the domestic market. On the other hand, exaggerated warnings by opponents of Brexit have dulled many Britons against the real dangers. That made them susceptible to trusting the optimists and their euphemisms. Many also see the negotiations with the EU as a ritualized game that, like last year, will ultimately lead to success through crises. According to McElroy, the country is seeing the EU once again in the role of the punisher who treats the British from above. This is also one of the reasons that the criticism of Johnson's sometimes harsh approach is limited. The government's admission that the British Single Market Act is violating the withdrawal agreement and thus international law has caused outrage, but less than abroad. The law passed the House of Commons effortlessly. It is now being discussed in the House of Lords. Well, they amended it and sent it back, and it will ping-pong now at the moment. But there still was not much interest from the population. Unlike at the height of the drama, this autumn is no longer about all or nothing, but only about the outline that our already completed Brexit will have. The opponents of the exit are still licking their wounds and do not want to fight each other again. For the new Labour leader Keir Starmer, once an ardent exit opponent, Brexit is history. Well, Brexit is history because it happened on January 31st, but the effects are not history yet. The conflict between Remainers and Brexiteers is settled, he likes to say, but the other opposition parties have also lost their desire to turn Brexit into a public conflict issue again. Last but not least, you look at the numbers. After Johnson's election victory and the seal of the exit from the EU, measurable interest plummeted rapidly. Last autumn, at the height of the exit drama, almost every second Briton described Brexit as the most important issue in the country. In second place, far behind with 6%, was the health system. 6 months later, the situation was completely different. Only 2% of those surveyed said Brexit was the most important issue. The pandemic was a priority, and of course it is. Since then, this has been the opposition's new field of attack. They want to be an advocate for the people who fear for their economic existence because of the protective measures and not because of Brexit. But if you now want to know more about European or global politics, YouTube has chosen another of my videos right here for you in the end screen, right next to your chance to subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in my next video. Click and enjoy. Viel Spaß!